Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to talk a little bit more. We've been exploring adjectives and all about them in English, and today we're going to take it a step further to talk about how we can compare adjectives. So, just to refresh your memory, an adjective we know is a describing word. It helps to describe a noun, a person, place, thing, or animal. But comparative adjectives is an adjective that can be used to tell how one thing is different than another. So meaning I have two things or possibly more, and I'm comparing them. I do that by either adding ER to an adjective or adding EST. I add ER to an adjective to show that something means more. Let's take a look at an example. In this picture here, I have two boys who are getting measured, and it's clear that one boy is a bit taller or more tall. The way in which I can explain that in a sentence is by saying that one boy is taller than the other boy, noticing that we're adding the ER to the adjective tall to show and compare the two boys. Now I add EST to show that it means the most of something when I'm comparing three or more things. For example, here in the picture, I have three girls holding teddy bears. The sentence says, the pink bear is the biggest of them all. So to compare them and show that the pink bear is the most big, I would add EST to the end of my adjective big and say biggest. So adding ER means you're trying to show something is more than something else. It's used when we're comparing two things, two nouns. So looking at this picture here, I have a boy running and a boy on a skateboard. We all know that the boy on the skateboard is going to be more fast than the boy running. So in order to say that in a complete sentence, I would say, the boy on the skateboard is faster, adding ER to the end of our adjective fast to compare those two boys. Now, adding EST, I use this when I'm trying to show that something is the most of something else. So it's used to compare three or more items. So now, as you can see in the picture, there are three boys. I want to show that the boy on the bike is the most fast. And I would do that by saying the boy on the bike is the fastest. Again, noticing I'm adding EST to the end of our adjective fast to show that it's the most. Let's take a look at some other comparative adjectives. Let's take a look at the first one. The first example I have is the adjective long. However, if I want to take a look at two snakes that are here in the second picture, in order to show that the orange snake is more long, I would add ER to the end of long to make it longer and say that the orange snake is longer than the green snake. Now looking at the last example, now I'm comparing three types of snakes. And I want to show that the brown snake is the most long. So I do that by adding EST to our adjective, and it becomes longest. I would say that the brown snake is the longest snake. Let's see a few more examples. If I have the adjective strong, that is just the regular adjective I would use. However, if I want to compare two boys, like I see in the second picture, I would show that the boy in the green shirt is stronger by adding ER to the end of my adjective strong. Now let's look at the last column. I want to show that the boy in the blue is the most strong. And I wouldn't say it like that. I would say that the boy in blue is the strongest by adding EST to our adjective strong. Last example here, I have the adjective old and a picture of a boy. However, looking at the second box, I want to compare the boy to his father and show that his father is more old, or we would say older by adding er to the end of the adjective. Now, looking at the last picture, I'm comparing 3 boys. And I want to show that the grandpa is what we call the oldest. Adding the est now shows that he is the oldest or the most old. Oops. Let's go into a sentence here. I have 3 options at the bottom, and you need to decide which version of the adjective is the best to compare. All right, let's look at the sentence. It says the turtle is then the rabbit. Notice, in the sentence, I'm only talking about the turtle and the rabbit. So that is 2 items that I'm comparing. So when I have 2 items, I have to think about what my rule is. Should I add er or est? Well, we just learned we should add er to the end when you're comparing 2 items. So, the turtle is big than the rabbit? No. The turtle is bigger than the rabbit? Sounds good to me. And the turtle is biggest than the rabbit? Doesn't make sense. So our answer is the turtle is bigger than the rabbit. Let's try another sentence. The panda bear is than the turtle. So again, I'm only comparing 2 things. I'm comparing the panda bear and the turtle. So let's decide which adjective best fits. The panda bear is big than the turtle. The panda bear is bigger than the turtle. Or the panda bear is biggest than the turtle. Well, if I'm comparing 2 items, I'm going to add er. The panda bear is bigger than the turtle. Now let's take a look at this sentence. It says the rabbit is the animal. So I'm talking about the rabbit in this sentence, but I'm comparing the rabbit to all the animals this time. So think about what you need to do when you're comparing 3 or more items. Should it be the rabbit is the small animal, the rabbit is the smaller animal, or the rabbit is the smallest animal? Well, if I'm comparing the rabbit to all of the animals in this picture, I'm going to add est. The rabbit is the smallest animal. Let's take a look at this example. It says the car is then the bike. So I'm talking about the car in this sentence, and I'm also talking about the bike. So I'm comparing 2 items. Should it be the car is fast than the bike, the car is faster than the bike, or the car is fastest than the bike? Shout out your answer. It should be faster. The car is faster than the bike because I'm only comparing 2 things. So I only need to add er to my adjective. Next one. The bike is then the plane. All right, let's take a look at what I'm comparing here. It says the bike and the plane. So I'm comparing 2 items. So let's think about what we need to do when I compare 2 items. Should it be the bike is slow than the plane, the bike is slower than the plane, or the bike is slowest than the plane? Well, if I'm comparing 2 items, it should be, shout out your answer, the bike is slower than the plane, adding the er. Now let's look at the next one. It says the plane is the Well, I know I'm talking about the plane, but I'm comparing the plane to all 3 forms of transportation. the car, the bike, and the plane. So looking at all three, comparing three or more items, think about what you're going to need to do. Should it be the plane is the fast, the plane is the faster, or the plane is the fastest? Well, if I'm comparing all three, I'm going to add our EST. It should be the plane is the fastest. Let's take a look at this one. It says the chick is then the cat. So our options are fluffy, fluffier, or fluffiest. I'm comparing the chick and the cat. So I'm comparing two items. Should it be the chick is fluffy than the cat, the chick is fluffier than the cat, or the chick it is fluffiest than the cat? When you compare two items, you need to add ER. So my answer is the chick is fluffier than the cat. Taking a look at another example. The dog is the animal. So I'm talking about the dog, but I'm comparing the dog to now all of the animals that we see in the picture. Should it be the dog is the fluffy animal, the dog is the fluffier animal, or the dog is the fluffiest animal? I'm comparing three things, so I'm going to need to add EST. The dog is the fluffiest animal. Let's take a look at the next one. The ice cream is then the cake. Okay. My options are cold, colder, or coldest. So think about ice cream. And if I'm comparing ice cream to cake, I'm comparing two things, ice cream and cake. Is it going to be the ice cream is cold than the cake, the ice cream is colder than the cake, or the ice cream is coldest than the cake? I'm only comparing two things here, so I'm going to need to add our ER. Shout out the answer. The ice cream is colder than the cake. And here's our last example. This one says, the pizza is the So here I'm talking about the pizza, but I'm comparing it to all of the items that I see here. And now looking at our three options that just appeared at the bottom, I have cheesy, cheesier, or cheesiest. Think about pizza and what you know about pizza compared to cake and ice cream. Is the pizza is the cheesy? Should it be the pizza is the cheesier, or the pizza is the cheesiest? Think about it. If I'm comparing three items, I need to add, shout out your answer, it should be cheesiest. I'm going to add the EST to the end of our word. The pizza is the cheesiest. And that is how we compare adjectives. Keep up the great work, boys and girls. I hope that you found this helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And there's also a really great Brain Pop video that goes along with the little PowerPoint we just went through to talk a little bit more about comparing adjectives. So be sure to check that out. I'll see you next time. Bye.